Hello students, today's Friday, October the 23rd, 2023. It's not 2023. It's 2015. Here are your tops announcements. You know, earlier today, I felt really old because I thought Macklemore and Ryan Lewis were the same person. I thought Ryan Lewis was his real name and he just went by Macklemore as his stage name. Turns out they're two totally different people. I think I like hip hop, but kind of like I'm in the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre era. Before that, I was into NWA, Fat Boys, and some of the other ones, Grandmaster Flash, KRS-One. I really like, but yeah. Then I just said it was 2023. And I realized that even in 2023, I still have 10 years to go before I can retire. So then I didn't feel so old. Miss Whedon sent out an email about Tennessee Ready Test. That is a state test for English 1, 2, 3, and U.S. history. In the spring, you'll add Algebra 1, or Math 1, Math 2, and Math 3 to that mix. These tests have two parts to them, so you have to show up for testing twice. The first round is the week of November 16th. The second round is the week of December the 14th. Just make plans for that. We do not have a Nashville testing site yet. Getting very close to a Memphis one. We do have Bristol and Knoxville taken care of, but we will have Nashville secured pretty soon, I hope. Which, by the way, if you do live in Nashville and know of a school that might let us test there, please let me know. It didn't have to be in Nashville proper. I mean, it could be in that area, Franklin, Mount Juliet, all of those places that are basically the Nashville metropolitan area, somewhere in Middle Tennessee. Midterm grades were released at the beginning of this week. Look at your grades, see how you're doing, make some changes accordingly if you feel like you need to do better. One thing I noticed that students who do poorly in their classes, I mean, there's a direct correlation between your attendance, of course, and your grades, because your attendance is based on work. If you're not doing work, you're not making good grades. I've also noticed that there's a correlation between when students start their work and their grades. So students that start on Monday automatically do better than students who don't, except in very rare cases. I've also noticed students that attend office hours and ask good questions make better grades than students who don't. So really, it's common sense. If you do things the way we ask you to do them and suggest that you do them, then you're going to do great. And if you don't, then you aren't. And it's not because we are basing our grades on compliance. It's just we know what it takes to be successful in an online environment. So you might want to listen to that. Of course, students that don't watch announcements also don't make very good grades. Because I notice people ask me questions that I just put in the announcements and then I'll go look at their grades and they're poor. I haven't done a study on that yet, but I will one day. So today's thought for the day is about how certain letters that you think of as consonants can be vowels. Let's start with a simple one, a Y. Because in yellow, Y is a consonant, but in hay, Y is a vowel. So what it has to do with is not letters, but sounds, and specifically what those sounds do. For example, somebody said, well, how can W be a vowel? Well, W can be a vowel if it's paired with another vowel. And for example, if you say water, it's a consonant, but if you say bow, then it's a vowel. It all has to do with the sound, because you're not saying bow, you're saying bow. So you have an O sound. So that's how it's a vowel. How can G be a vowel? Well, if G is paired with H, like though, that's a vowel sound. G and H, you consider both consonants, but when paired with an OU, they are then vowels. So it's all about the sound and not about the letter. Some of the other ones were L and L and R. And L and R, it really depends on your dialect, but both of those sounds are liquids, and they're very closely related. And if you even say, like the sound L and R, there's a slight difference between what you're doing, and people who grow up in language systems that don't have both of those sounds will commonly make the same sound for both of them, depending on which sound is closer to what they've grown up with. That's why you get, and it's probably, I don't know if you call it racist or you call it just kind of mocking a culture, but in the end of Christmas Story, in the Chinese restaurant, hope that's not a spoiler to anybody, but anyway, they have to go eat at a Chinese restaurant. The guys are singing, "Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa ra 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 ra," and that's a thing that happens in Asian languages because they have a sound that's closer to r than l, but they don't have the l, and so basically what happens until you're when you're 5 years old, a lot of linguists say that your what's called phonemic chart develops. In other words, all the sounds that you can produce and all the sounds that you can hear, and then it crystallizes. And so you have to actively learn new sounds before you can hear them. And so if these people just came and worked in a restaurant in America and weren't actively learning English, it would take a while for them to develop a distinction between l and r. So how can L be a vowel? Well, it's the same thing like the other ones. Like in the word liquid, L is definitely a consonant. But in the word fall, it's not. It's more of a vowel sound. So that's how that works. M and N are nasal sounds. And if you think of and if you put your finger in your nose, you can feel it vibrate. And that's how you know it's a nasal sound, because some air has to come out of your nose in order to make the sound. And so in different contexts, those can be vowels as well, following the same thing I just said. So anyway, who was that said that? Hold on, I'm going to give props to whoever asked that question on the Facebook group. Yes, and I will take time to do this, even though I could pause it and just record it again. Oh, Michaela Robinson. That's who I thought. I just didn't want to get the name wrong. Michaela doesn't post a lot, and she came up with a really cool question. So, way to go, Michaela. There's your explanation. Zero.